Welcome to In the News this morning, and we've had a very great weekend on the channel. We got over 500 subscribers extra, and I really want to thank you for your support. Please, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you can get notifications when new videos are uploaded. Please go and look at my past videos. They are in specific playlists so that you can actually look up something that you are interested in. The article I want to cover this morning is very concerning, and it shows you the direction of President Cyril Ramaphosa's mind with regards to the people that control his every move. And the headline reads, Ramaphosa says government COVID-19 response is preparing the country for NHI. Now, if you don't know what NHI stands for, it's the National Health Insurance, which is basically a socialist communist setup. And like I made clear in the video on Cyril Ramaphosa, he is from communist and Marxist origins. Make no mistake. In the article it says that President Cyril Ramaphosa has given the strongest endorsement of the National Health Insurance Program. So he's speaking out for it now. Normally he hides in the background and he appoints these ministers that take the fall for him, like Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, and he can just hide behind them. But as I've said in my previous article, that now he is being highlighted for the weakling that he is, and that is clearly just being controlled by his puppet masters. He says government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic was a trial run for South Africa's medical future. This is despite the fact that there were unresolved tensions around a public-private partnership in treating COVID-19 patients. Now, you as a state cannot force any public enterprise to just fall in behind what you want to do and toe the government line. That is not a private enterprise anymore. That is a communist state imposing their rules and regulations on what is supposed to be a free enterprise. That is what it actually is, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. The government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic is a building block towards South Africa's healthcare future under the National Health Insurance Program. This is according to President Cyril Ramaphosa, who gave the strongest endorsement yet of the NHI, emphasizing that the pandemic that has gripped the world would not derail efforts to implement the controversial universal healthcare program. In fact, Ramaphosa said the government's reliance on a private-public partnership to deal with the coronavirus outbreak adequately prepared the ground for the NHI. Because of COVID-19, we have had to quickly improve our health system to be ready to serve everyone, regardless of their ability to pay, which is a fundamental principle of the NHI, he said, which is a socialist and communist principle, especially when the state enforces it. The president was engaging with editors and senior journalists during a virtual forum organized by the South African National Editors Forum on Sunday, and I've covered this in my previous article, so please be sure to watch that. He repeatedly spoke of the NHI as a silver lining to this unprecedented healthcare crisis. There's never a crisis that can't be used to implement your New World Order strategy and agenda. This could well be seen as the genesis of an NHI, because no one who has been infected by COVID has been turned away. They have been accepted and admitted to our health facilities. This is precisely what the NHI is aimed at doing, Ramaphosa said. Health Minister Willem Mkhize was repeatedly referenced the importance of the NHI when talking about government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. You will see that they always have a program behind them. And you will also see that in a lot of their briefings behind them, they had banners that spoke of the National Development Plan, which is just another word for Agenda 2030 that comes from the United Nations, a puppet organization of the New World Order agenda, or the Council and Committee, as I've mentioned before. Public sector union NHI has argued that the implementation of the NHI had to be sped up in the wake of the COVID-19, but the private sector has been less than optimistic for obvious reasons. The private sector, it's private people trying to run an enterprise and trying to generate an income. They are allowed to do business like that. When government intervenes in that, we have a problem. I'm not saying that people and social organizations and even businesses should not help those that need help. I do believe that that should happen, but the government should not be forcing it on anyone. The moment the government forces that freedom to choose to actually help someone, you get the unhealthy environment that we live in at the moment. While Ramaphosa remains optimistic about the NHI, tensions between government and the private sector over COVID-19 have been simmering. It hasn't been simmering, it's boiling over at this stage. News 24 reported last week that government had offered private healthcare providers a flat rate for treating COVID-19 patients, but the private sector has not accepted the offer for obvious reasons. Negotiations between the sectors has been ongoing for months, with a mutual understanding that they would need to work together to prevent the healthcare system from being overwhelmed once a pandemic reaches its peak, about late August. The tensions over agreements signed between private healthcare and the public sector are the backdrops to concerns around NHI, and these concerns will continue to any person that's trying to run a profitable business. News 24 reported that some doctors are concerned that the agreements will be used when the NHI become a reality and that the terms will remain permanent. Well, they can bet their bottom dollar that those terms will remain permanent and that they will be forced to keep on providing as per what the NHI wants. And that is a socialist communist system which will just completely collapse the healthcare throughout the entire country, because that is what socialism does. When there's no more means for you to compete with others and try to improve your services, why try? Why actually put in that effort if the government is telling you how much profit you must make, how you must run your business, how much you must charge? It's business over. You just now become another government institution. And this is the problem currently with what our president is steamrolling. There's no one else behind it but him. Remember this. This means that whichever per diem fee is agreed to now during the pandemic would remain in place as the NHI fee for specialists. An agreement on the terms of the partnership is yet to be finalized. Can you imagine this? You can read the rest of this article. There's not much left there. Life after COVID-19 is the headline. In the link in the description below this video, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you can get updates. Be sure to know that I will reveal as much as I can, not only around our president, but the people that put him in office, and I will continue proving how they are controlling the world that you and I are going to be living in, and how they are not helping the people in this country that do need help. They need to empower the citizenry to want to go and assist those people as private citizens and as private enterprises. But as long as the environment where we need to go and give assistance is dangerous, is threatening, where ambulances are attacked, the equipment stolen, going into some of the informal settlements, it'll make it impossible for people to want to assist with the risks available. And the only way that President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to actually assist the people that need assistance is to get everyone to buy in. If he does the right thing and opens up the society, make government smaller, actually change the way government is run, change the electoral system so that he can be voted in independently as president, and then we'll see if he can make it on his own without a party backing him and all the elitists in the world backing him to become the leader of this country and the leader of the African continent.